Do you take any encouragement for your campaign out of what you're seeing in Ohio tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it applies to Montana. I think Montanans don't want the federal government telling them what to do, and certainly women's health care decisions fall squarely into that. And so, absolutely, I think it is very, very informative. And in a state like Montana that tends to be pretty libertarian, the vote in Ohio, I think, applies very directly. And we've got folks in Montana who want to take away women's right to choose. They want to take away a woman's right to make their own health care decisions. The governor, the Republican state legislature, even after Montanans have voted to keep it in the hands of the women, they've tried to undermine that every step of the way. So absolutely, I think that Montana is going to reflect closely what happened in Ohio tonight.
We also see in Kentucky a Democrat winning the governorship, winning re-election to the governorship in another strongly Republican state. That's a model for the way you run your re-election campaigns.
Look, Andy Beshear is a good man who's got a great record, and he ran on that record, and he won, and he should have won because he served the state of Kentucky very, very well. I think the same thing can apply to me. We've got a great record. I'm one of the most effective senators in the U.S. Senate. We've done good things across the board, whether it's for veterans, agriculture, small business, working families. It really is very broad-based. We just got to let folks know about that. And we also got to let them know where I come from and who I am. And that's exactly what that ad did. And for the folks out there that are watching, JohnTester.com ain't a bad place to come and get involved in this campaign.
What is the contrast going to be between you and a Republican in this election next year?
Well, I don't know who the Republican opponent's going to be. Honestly, McConnell's got his person, the person who's in the Eastern District of Montana in Congress is potentially going to run. It really doesn't matter. It's going to be about who can best serve Montana back in Washington, D.C., who knows rural America, who knows Montana, who's fought for Montana, and who's got things done for Montana. And I think when people take a look at my record and compare it to the other folks, the other records will pale in comparison.
What are what you would call the top three issues in your campaign in Montana?
Look, agriculture is always going to be a big issue because agriculture is the #1 industry in our state. Access to our public lands. Montana is the greatest state and the greatest country in the world. And the reason it's the greatest state is because we have public lands and people have access to those public lands to go hunting and fishing and hiking and biking and all those quality of life things that are so very, very important. And then there's several more, but I'll just throw in veterans. We have second highest per capita veterans in the country. Our people serve at a higher rate than just about any other state in the union. We're very, very proud of our military, and we're very, very proud of our veterans, and we need to make sure that our veterans are taken care of when they come back from active duty and become civilians. And those are three issues that are very, very big in Montana. There are also three issues that I've been very, very involved in.
What's the Democratic versus Republican view of agriculture in Montana? Is there any difference in the parties on that?
Look, I think there is. I think there's a lot of issues. I mean, I think take a look at consolidation in the meatpacking industry. Democrats are working to break that up. Republicans, it's the same old stuff where, competition isn't too good in that industry. And quite frankly, capitalism works very well where there's competition, but there isn't competition in that. And who's bearing the brunt of that? The cow-calf operators are bearing the brunt of that. And so that's just one. You can say this, make the same argument for inputs for agriculture. There needs to be more competition in the marketplace. The fact that there's just a few seed companies or just a few chemical companies supplying farmers with chemicals, that's driving family farmers out of business. And quite frankly, I've been fighting for those kind of issues since the very first day I walked through the doors of the United States Senate, to make sure that we have competition, to make sure that farmers and ranchers get a fair shake.
You know, you're pretty much the only guest who comes on this program to talk about agriculture policy in government. And so I love hearing the details of it, and I hope the audience does too, because this is a very different state you're running in than where most of the people in this country live. As you go forward, what do you think are the stresses that you expect in the campaign next year? Issues that could be live next year that aren't so prominent right now?
So look, Lawrence, what they've always done in every campaign that I've ever run in is they've tried to make me into somebody that I'm not so they could run against that person. They've already tried to do it in this election. They're going to do it over the next 12 months. There's no doubt about it. We have to remind people where I came from. I was basically the town I was born in. I've lived my whole life within 100 miles of that town until I got this job. My roots are deep. My grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather homesteaded the place we're on. I'm an incredibly lucky man, my wife and I, to be able to farm that land. People need to know that. People need to know that I fight for Montanans every single day in a place where there's not a lot of representation of real rural America back here. And so they will try to make me into something I'm not. That's fine. Let them do it. It's really hard for them to make me into somebody I'm not because I am who I am. And that's the way I've always been. We've won elections being who I am, and I'll continue to be that. Will I say stuff that's inappropriate once in a while? Sure, I will. But the bottom line is I'm going to continue to make sure I'm looking out for rural America, making sure they have a seat at the table on every policy that comes up.
Senator Jon Tester, who has never said anything inappropriate on this program, thank you very much for joining us again tonight.
Pleasure to be with you, Lawrence. Thank you.